take a look at some of the most common products that are mentioned in Pro Pink Tax videos. Starting off with something that Steph actually needs to buy, which are vitamins. Female vitamins, as opposed to the male ones. Do you know where they are? Okay, so here's the first thing. This is very weird. So the $16.97 for the men's has 130 in it, and this one for the women only has 90 in it, and it's $1 more. This one is the same price, and it has the exact same amount, 130, 130, and it's the same price. However, this one's $1 more for 40 less. So let's try to figure out why. Show me the ingredients on the back of the bottle. Okay, so like I showed, the one for women has 40 less in it, and it's $1 more. However, the ingredients on the women's one is far stronger. For example, on this ingredient, it's only 75, which is for, I don't even know what that is, but only 75, and for here it's 2,500, and that applies to the majority of the ingredients on the bottle. So it is more expensive and there's less in here, but there is far more ingredients on this bottle than there is on this one. Okay, so when comparing these, one other thing I noticed is that they both have the immune, they both have the vision, and they both have the metabolism. The men's has antioxidants, but the women's has bone health and hair, nails, and skin. So that's 4 things that the women's bottle has that the men's bottle does not have. So the next Pink Tac thing I'm always seeing them talk about is Tylenol. Now there's like 10,000 different kinds of Tylenol here. They're all different prices with different uses, like extra strength, long lasting, all that kind of thing. So it's hard to do a comparison here, especially with like different amounts in the bottle. Also changes the price. But to simplify it down to the basics, I took bottles of the PMS kind, which is actually called Midol, and it's the PMS as well as menstrual. And then I found a bottle of just regular Tylenol. So the regular Tylenol, this bottle here, is $5 for 24 capsules, and the Midol has 32 capsules, has more capsules in it, but it's $8. So the important things to know here is that not only does the PMS bottle have more tablets inside the bottle, but also looking at the ingredients, there is far more ingredients in the woman's bottle for menstrual cramps and stuff than there is in the regular. Only 2 ingredients in the regular and several in the one for menstrual cramps. So again, that would explain the price difference. Alright, so the next thing they often complain about is men's shampoo versus women's shampoo. This is the women's aisle. Well, actually, I think it's men over here. But yeah, the women's aisle for shampoo and conditioner and stuff. Some of them are very cheap. I'm seeing some that are like $4 or $5, and some of them, however, go as high as like $9 or $10. So I grabbed 2 bottles. One is the men's, that's the Dial. It's $4, and this red bottle here is the women's, and it's $8. However, as people have mentioned before who have debunked the Pink Tax, they've all stated and proved that it's all about the fact that the women's shampoo is better for the hair. Let's look at the ingredients. The men's ingredients are that. A lot of chemicals, a lot of stuff that's probably bad for your hair. If you look at the women's bottle, look at the ingredients. The list is twice as long as the men's bottle, and those ingredients are also much healthier, not as many chemicals. So, yes, the women's bottle is more expensive, and it also has less in it. There's about 50 milliliters less in the red bottle than there is in the men's bottle. But when you consider the ingredients in the bottle, it makes sense. So something I really should have mentioned when I was talking about the shampoo are different brands. Obviously, in the Walmart video just now, I showed 2 very different brands of shampoo, which might be a little bit biased because different brands will charge different amounts of money regardless if it's the male version or the women's version. However, just for the sake of fairness, in most of these Pink Tax videos, they will compare the same brand. What I see most often is Head & Shoulders brand, the men's bottle and the women's bottle, where it actually literally says for men and for women on the bottle. And it will be the same amount in the bottle, but the women's bottle will cost more. But again, even though I didn't show the same brand in Walmart, the end result is still the same. Before you complain about it, turn the bottles over. The women's bottle will always have far more ingredients in it than the men's bottle. And that is why when it comes to shampoo and conditioner, the women's bottle costs more. It's not sexism, it's because that bottle has more ingredients and it's healthier for the hair and skin. That's why. So now this is actually the only pink tax point that they make that I actually agree with. I personally think that anything that is forced and does not apply to both genders should actually be free. Women are forced to buy this stuff. It's not optional. They don't have a choice. So really it should be free. It's not necessarily oppression, because you can't really call, biological things, women having a vagina, oppression, but it is unfair. So in general, necessities should kind of be free, like healthcare, for example. Necessities in general, I think, should be free, but if they apply to only one gender, they should definitely be free, because when it comes to healthcare, for example, whether if healthcare is free or paid, it's still equal, because you're either both paying or both not paying. But with pads and stuff, that only affects one gender. Therefore, it kind of is inequality if one's paying and the other one isn't. So it's the only pink tax point I actually agree with. Plus, even then, the price of them is bull. Like, look, it's $10, $7, and like each like period time, you have to buy like what two boxes at a? Would you say 2 boxes at a time? One box.
Yeah.
So like 1 box a month, but that's you have to buy a box 12 times a year. So yeah, it kind of sucks. You can kind of throw condoms into the mix because, again, like, they're for men to use. There are female condoms, but nobody ever buys those. So condoms are actually a thing as well, because men have to buy them, but at the same time, both genders use a condom because you're having sex. But again, pads and stuff is women only. So what do you think? I think they should be free, personally. So the next pink tax we're going to debunk is the idea that boys' toys cost less than girls' toys. Basically, what they think is that if a toy is colored blue, it's cheaper than the same toy colored pink. Now, this is not true, because there's very few toys that are exactly the same and are just changed color. That usually doesn't happen. Usually, a girl's toy, would be like a Barbie doll, for example, and a boy's toy might be like a Hot Wheels, right? But it's not about one being girl, one being boy. It's about them literally being 2 different toys. So they're obviously going to cost 2 different prices. But I am walking around the toy aisle hoping to find one toy in 2 different colors that are 2 different prices. And I'm looking like, the kids' toys area, and I don't see any toys that are like the same toy but in 2 different colors. So this pink tax is absolute BS. In every pink tax supporting video, I often see this screenshot or ones very much close to it, where they show the boys' scooter costing $24.99 and it's red to indicate it's for boys. The pink one for girls is $49.99. I see this fucking thing everywhere. But guess what? I can be manipulative too. So let's fucking take a look. I typed in the exact same scooter on Google and just hit the shopping tab. Let's see what we can find. Interesting. On that fucking feminism bullshit, they claim that the boys' scooter was only $30. Well, look, it ranges. $60 at Walmart, $56 on Amazon, $51 on Amazon. But as you can see, they also range in the 50s, just like the girls do. And there's something else they seem to be missing, too. Take a look at this one right here. It actually has a circle for red or pink color, which means when you choose the color, the price won't change. So what we're proving here is that the image that they showed in the feminist video, where the girl's scooter was 50 and the boy's scooter was 30, was just them taking it from one source or one store that happened to be selling it at a higher price. They're manipulating it. You can clearly see right here that you can actually choose the color you want, and the price will stay exactly the same. Plus, there's ranges. Look, this boy one costs more than the girl one in that video. So, while searching the toy section to try to find girls and boys' toys, we did find this game. It's called, it's a fake news game, just the news you want to hear. And the back of the box says, score points for the most hilariously believable headlines using image and topic cards for the chosen audience, because everything else is just fake news. I'm hoping there's a lot of CNN in here. Okay, so it took a while, but I finally found a toy of the same toy, but meant for each gender. Here is a yellow box for the boy, it's like a construction worker, and here's a girl one, kind of a badass girl because she's on a fucking motorcycle, but it is pink and it is for girls, as you can see. And the price, right here, $44.97, and here, $44.97. Both are the exact same price. But if you need more evidence, I'll try to look for more toys. So, for the sake of fairness, here's a great way of debunking the pink tax with how stupid it is. This is the girls' version of this toy and the boy version. The red one is for the boys, the pink one is for the girls. And the girls' one is $13.97 for 19 pieces, and the boys' one is $2 more for less pieces. I don't know the reason. I checked the box to figure out why the boys' one is more expensive for less pieces, and I couldn't find any reason, but there you go. If you're going to find a boys' toy that costs more money, and there's no reason on it to explain that, you can't possibly believe in the pink tax. Alright, so I've pretty thoroughly debunked the pink tax, going through a whole bunch of products. But before I go into the last product, which is underwear, I want to bring up a couple very common points that people don't recognize. First of all, multiple studies prove that women make up 80% of all consumers because women shop more, women buy more stuff, women also like a variety of things, like, you know, why women have like 100 times more different types of shampoo than men do, for example. So, women make up most consumers. So if you have any knowledge in marketing, you would know that, generally speaking, they are gonna create products and prices that go towards women. With shampoo, for example, costing more, yeah, the ingredients are better, but they still market them towards women by, like, making them smell nice, for example. These kinds of things are irrefutable facts that you can look up. It's well researched and documented. Of course, if women make up most consumers, they are going to create products that aim towards women. So through all those products, one of the ones I actually forgot to mention was dry cleaning, which is what the feminists talk about quite a bit, and how if you take a woman's shirt into a dry cleaner and a man's shirt, you will often pay more for the woman's shirt. Now, there are reasons for this. The reasons are actually quite simple. First of all, dry cleaners have stated repeatedly, when they debunked this stupidity, that the man's shirt, all they do is throw it in a washing machine. That's it. But the woman's shirt gets washed, pressed, all these kinds of things. And on top of that, women's clothing is also designed very differently from men's, which means that they need extra, like, you know, materials and stuff like that. For instance, they will tell you that men's shirts are usually just up and down. You know, men's shirts are like boxes. However, women's shirts are usually shaped in like that hourglass shape to kind of like fit a woman's figure. So women's shirts are much more detailed and in-depth than men's shirts, with the material, the way they are washed, the way that they're, you know, designed, threaded, the materials, the shape of them. Women's clothing is a lot more in-depth than men's. And I have a news clip here, which I found really funny. These people who were trying to prove it to be real actually went into a dry cleaners and asked why the women's clothing costs more to dry clean. They answered the question, and they just blatantly ignored it, because why not, right? Check this out.
Another money mystery, dry cleaning. Why does a man's shirt and a woman's shirt, made from the same fabric and same style, have different prices? We took a man's shirt and a woman's shirt to two separate dry cleaners, had the same things done to both, and check out the price.
Except you didn't. So that's their first lie, saying we had the same thing done to both. No, you asked for the same thing. You said, please clean them. But what they actually do in the dry cleaner store is vastly different. Just because you said the words, please clean the shirt, does not mean it's actually what they're doing, or the steps they use, the machines they use, all that kind of stuff.
We have a man's shirt, 100% cotton, $2 to launder, and just put on a machine, apparently.
Exactly. See, I love that. She admits it. She admits that all they did was put it into a machine. Exactly. Thank you for admitting it, news reporter. But they're not going to admit that the woman's shirt took like 3 or 4 more steps.
But for a women's shirt, 100% cotton as well, $4.50, because they had to, quote, hand press it.
They had to hand press it. So let me get this straight. You're admitting on the news that they had to hand press it, so there was an extra step, which would explain the extra cost, but yet you're not satisfied and you still think the pink tax exists. Love the news.
I put in a call to 6 separate dry cleaners around the Tennessee Valley. All women's shirts were priced higher than men's.
The reporter right there literally just explained and admitted why.
When asked why, they all gave an answer similar to this.
Of course they all gave the same answer, because they're doing the same thing. Like, I love how the intent behind that statement was they're all saying the same thing because they're all telling the same lie. No, it's because they're all doing the same fucking thing at the place of employment.
Why would they be different prices?
It's kind of simple because
It's kind of simple. I like that. So here we go. This guy's gonna answer her question.
we have a machine for the men's because men's shirts are mostly, their shapes are mostly same, so they're a little bit bigger sizes, but we can adjust that one. So we can press in the machine, but there is no machine for the woman's. So woman's blouse has to be pressed by hand. It takes a long time.
Elizabeth.
Right there. He fucking answered you, and you just... Well, moving on. So, yeah, there is your answer for dry cleaning. Another one that I actually forgot to mention, but I'll mention it now, is haircuts. Women pay more for haircuts. Well, in a sense they do, but you need to understand that women do a lot more than men do. When men get a haircut, all they do is they cut it. That's it. Men go and get their heads shaved. They also go to hair barbers. Women don't usually go to a hair barber. They go to a hair salon, a hair stylist, where they charge 4 times the amount. And that's a choice that a woman made. But if a woman went into a barber just like a man, you know what she's paying? The price on the sign. And here's the thing. If you go to a barber where they have the prices on a sign, as opposed to a hair salon where they go, well, your hair is 10 inches long, so I have to charge you based on that. When it's on a sign, they charge you exactly what's on the sign. And here's the thing. You're not charged based on gender. If a man has long hair as well, he's charged the same amount of what's written on the fucking sign. So it's not about being a man or a woman. It's about length of hair. It's always about length of hair. And a woman doesn't have to go to a hair salon and pay $50 for a haircut. She can go to a hair barber and pay $20 for a haircut just like most men do. But at the same time, there is a little bit of fairness here that I will admit to. And I think everybody should admit to this because it is true. So here's the thing. Women, generally speaking, do have more hair than men. Women have longer hair. At the end of the day, those things are still a choice. However, you would be a complete idiot if you were to deny that our society as people does not encourage women to have longer hair. We do. You know, if a woman has short hair, usually we refer to them as an SJW or a lesbian or something. Women are encouraged to have longer hair. At the end of the day, it is still her choice. No man is gonna fucking, hold a woman at gunpoint and saying, you must grow your hair out. If a woman wants lesbian hair, if she wants short hair or even to be bald, she can do that. She most likely will never get a boyfriend, but but she still can. But my point is exactly that women are encouraged for that. Now, although that part is true, it's not all entirely on men, encouraging women. At the same time, women also encourage other women. And on top of that, the average woman also wants longer hair. Even if we look outside of cultural, societal norms and expectations, girls still want, they desire longer hair. If you talk to any woman and you say to them, do you want to have long hair that is shiny and silky and smooth and healthy? Very few girls are going to say no. However, if you were to go up to the average man and say, do you give a flying fuck if your hair is dry and not smooth and not healthy and you're basically washing your hair with dish soap? The average man's going to say, no, I don't give a flying fuck. So yes, there is some encouragement in society, but at the same time, women care much more than men do. And if you care on a personal level, then yeah, you're going to pay extra. But the thing is, it's not a gender thing. They pay based on length of hair, they pay based on quality of product, and just in general, hair salons will charge much more than a hair barber. So it's not just because you're a girl. Yes, like I said, there is societal expectations and everything, but it's not because you're a girl. It's because your hair is longer and you desire to have long, luscious locks. But men don't give a fuck. That's the truth behind haircuts. Okay, so the last pink tax we're going to talk about is one that they themselves have already debunked, but it's good to explain it. Even people who support the pink tax actually admit that men's underwear costs more. However, just like with all the pink taxes they believe in, there are reasons for this. So, looking at the underwear section, and I buy my boxers from here, so I can tell you this. I buy the men's boxers. It comes in a pack of 4 for $10. here we have the women's pack. It comes in a pack of 6 for the same price. This other brand up here is in a pack of 6 for $12, but it's obviously a different brand that's common. So, but regardless, you're getting 2 more pairs for the same price. But the reason is quite simple. There's more material in the men's. A men's pair of boxers is almost twice as big as a women's pair of underwear that's like this small. More material means higher costs. That's just how things work. The other thing I forgot to mention when I was in Walmart was razors. One of the most common things I see in these pink tax videos is that women pay more for the pink razor than they do for the blue one. And they go on saying they're exactly the same. Well, 2 things are. Number one, if they were exactly the same, then just buy the fucking blue one. But they're not exactly the same, and you know that. That's kind of why you buy the pink one. Stop lying! And here's the thing. Razors are also very, very easy to understand. Female razors do cost more, unless you're buying an electric shaver, because for a man, an electric shaver costs like $400 to $500, but we can just ignore that for your feelings. If we're talking about the handheld ones, the women's ones may cost more at face value, but they actually don't. Here's the thing. So first of all, if you're buying one package of razors, yes, the woman's one costs more. And there's a reason for it. They're designed very differently. Women's skin is much more sensitive than men's skin is. So they have to design the razors in a very special way so that they're okay to use on a woman's skin. They also have to be good for the woman's hair, which is very different from a man's hair. All those things. But even then, guess what? The men's razors actually cost more if you look into it. Why? One package may cost more for the girl, but the men are buying more packages, which means it ends up costing more. Why are men buying more packages? Because men shave more often than women do. Well, hallelujah, what a shock, right? And because women have less hair that grows slower and is thinner and much less coarse, women are able to reuse the same razor, let's say, 5 times. But a man, after he's used a razor 2 or 3 times, he has to throw it out because the blades are most likely damaged. And if he uses it again, it's probably going to cut his skin and cause him to bleed. So when men are using more razors than women and therefore buying more packages of razors, at the end, he actually ends up spending more money on razors than you do. So shut the fuck up. Here is a document that shows that women pay more than men. Oh, God! Well, let's go through this biased pile of shit. Let's scroll through all the women are victims, yada, yada, yada bullshit. And let's get right down to the graphs. Here's a graph. Now let's read it, shall we? Take a look here. Bikes and scooters. Toys, backpacks, preschool toys, helmets and pads, arts and crafts. And you can literally tell, the graph even admits to this, that these are based on averages. You can see it right there. Girls' averages and boys' averages. These are not direct comparisons of products. In fact, it even says here the number of products they tested. For bikes and scooters, for example, they tested 22 different products. How do you fucking know that this biased piece of crap article didn't go to a store that sells bikes for a higher price and then go to Walmart for the boys' bikes where they're like $50 less? This is not a fair comparison. Just like how with the wage gap, you cannot use averages. You can't use averages for the pink tax either. This applies mostly in our next graph I will show you. This is the other graph you need to take a look at, where we're talking about body products, like shampoo, conditioner, razors, lotions, deodorants, body wash, shaving cream, etc. Here's the interesting thing. It's all about averages, and this graph proves it more than the other one. If women are buying, it's not about buying more expensive shampoo, which women do, by choice. It's about the amount of shampoo that women are buying. If women buy more shampoo, more razors, more lotion, more deodorant, more body wash, more shaving cream, then of fucking course, the average is going to show that women pay more because women buy more. These products, let's take deodorant for example. Deodorant for women could actually cost less money, but the average will show more. How? Let's say 50 women go and buy a bottle of deodorant and only 20 men go and buy a bottle of deodorant. Of course, if you add up all 50 of those women buying deodorant, it's going to be a higher price because 30 more women bought deodorant. And also, if you look here, the last one for men actually proves it. This graph shows that shaving cream actually costs more for men. Now, I know it's only one thing, but it still does debunk the pink tax as a whole, because the pink tax is women pay more for everything. But what the graph is admitting to when it shows that men pay more for shaving cream is that it's all about averages, and men simply buy shaving cream more than women. You can't do things based on averages. That applies to the wage gap and the pink tax. So yeah, I don't care about your fucking fifis. The pink tax does not exist. Women do not get paid less than men, and women do not pay more at the store for products. Bye.
Yeah.